Hi there. My name is Julia and I work in the marketing department at BMO. And the video that you're about to watch involves another one of our very own at BMO, Harpreet Singh, an implementation engineer that is going to take you through all the steps that you need to follow to move from G Suite to Office 365. Follow along and complete your migration by the end of it. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out and enjoy.
My name is Harpreet and I am the implementation engineer for BMO. So today we are going to do a migration from Google G Suite to Microsoft 365. So this is not a typical IMAP migration. This migration is using the Gmail APIs, and the benefit of this migration is that instead of just emails, we will be able to migrate contacts, calendars, and tasks as well. So we will be using a tool called as BitTitan Migration Wiz in order to do the migration. So let's begin with the process and see how we go the migration. So the first step to the migration will be the details that we will need. So what all details you will require. So the first thing that you will require is that you have purchased your Microsoft 365 tenant from BMO and you have acquired the licenses. Once the licenses are acquired, you have created all the users in your target Office 365 and assigned them licenses. So in this demo, we are going to migrate two user accounts, which will be Charlie Harper and Alan Harper. So initially, when you sign up for the Office 365 tenant with BMO, you will have a default.onmicrosoft.com tenant name, and the users will have their email address. So here I have two users created. I have a license assigned to them. So one thing that you have to make sure is you also need global admin privileges to an account in your Office 365. So in order to use that global admin account, you also have to make sure that the security defaults are turned off. So for that, we will go to the Azure portal, which is portal.azure.com, and let it load the page. Alright, so from there I will navigate to Azure Active Directory, and I will scroll down and go to Properties and scroll down, and at the bottom of the page you will see Manage Security Defaults. So click on Manage Security Defaults. So here you see the security defaults is enabled. I would like to turn this to off because security defaults will force your account to have MFA, and when we use a migration tool, that tool does not support multi-factor authentication. So I'm going to select no. I will just select any of the reasons, doesn't matter, and then hit save. Okay, once that is done, I have my Office 365 tenant, my global admin account is ready, and I have all the users created in my account. Now the next thing is, the next important information that I need is GoDaddy Google account, which will be a super admin in Google. So I'm going to use the Google super admin account and I will have to log into the Google portal. So what do we have for it? So first of all, we'll have to log into the Google page. So give me just a minute while I go through that. Okay, so I'm going to open incognito mode and I will log into console.developers.google.com. This is the Google Cloud Platform Developers Console. I will use my admin account and I will be presented with this screen. So this is the page where I will start the next process. So at the top you see there is an option to select a project. I will click on select project. I do not have any project right now, so I will click on new project, and then I will have to give a name to my project. So I can give any name to my project as I would want. So just for this demo, I will name this as BMO email migration. For location, I will keep it as default and then click on create. It's taking a little time. And one more thing, while you're performing these steps for Google, you have to make sure that you're using Google Chrome. That will give you the best experience instead of using any other browser. The best will be to use Google Chrome because that's supported best. All right, so I have the project created. The project name is BMO email migration. Now the next step for me is to create a service account. So in order to create a service account, what I will do is, so there are two things that I can do. I can either create a service account or I can enable the APIs. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and enable the APIs first, because that's what I see on the screen. It says enable APIs and services. So I will click on that. And I'm brought to this API library. So what I will simply have to do is I will have to search for the following APIs. So the first one will be Google Calendar. I will just search for a few words and I will see Google Calendar API. I will click on it and then I will enable it. And I have to follow the same step. I have to repeat the same step for all the other APIs. I have total 4 APIs for which I have to do this. Alright, so once this API gets enabled, I can see now I see disable API. That means this is enabled. I will click on API and services once again to go back to the previous page. Click on enable API and services and then choose Gmail API. Alright, and I will click on enable. Okay, so next is I go back, click on enable APIs again, and then click on contacts. Oh, there it is, contacts API, and click on enable. Click on API and services again, enable API and services, and then I will click on, I have done contacts, so I will now click on admin SDK API, and then click on enable. All right, and I will go back, click on it again, then also I can do tasks API, enable. Alright, so I'll go back to the screen. Okay, so the next option for me is to create a service account. Okay, so what I will have to do is, so from the menu bar, I will click on I am an admin, and then choose the option of service accounts. So here there is no service account created, so I will click on create service account, and I need to give a name to the service account. So I can give any name of my choice to the service account. I will just call this BMO migration, and if I want to give any description, this is up for email migration, and click on create. So now it's asking me if I want to give this service account access to the project, so I will select this, and I will choose I will be choosing owner, and then I will click on continue. And grant users access to the service account. This is again an optional step, and I'll click on done. Okay, so we have created a service account, and also we have created enable our APIs. Okay, so the next step for us will be to create a key. So what we will have to do, we'll have to find the unique ID for this service account that we created. So let's click on it. Okay, there we have. So this is the unique ID. Let's copy this into a notepad because we will need this later on. Okay, so now that I have got the, and I will also do one more thing here which is important. Show domain by delegation, click here and then click on save. Enable G Suite domain wide delegation. We have to do this step. Alright, so now that we have done this step, so the next step for us will be to, so we have already created the service account. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, now what we will do is we'll go back to the Google admin portal, which is admin.google.com. That's the home page. I will have to verify the identity. And then I will click on security and scroll down and look for an option for API controls. And then scroll down, click on manage domain wide delegation, and click on under the API clients page, click on add new. Now on this, I will paste the unique ID that I copied here. So this is my client ID, which I said it will be used earlier. And under the OAuth scopes,
we will have to paste the scopes. So that scopes you can find in the article. These are the scopes, and then we simply click on authorize. Okay, so that is all done. All right, so now that we have done our steps on the Google site, let's do some sort of steps on the. So we already have the users there in the Office 365. So our next step is to start the migration. So which is we will use our BitTitan migration tool. In order to do that, I will simply go to my projects under BitTitan, create a project, mailbox project. So name of the project, I can name anything. So this project, since it is a lab environment, I can name it as my lab. Okay, so I will just say BMO Demo Labs email migration. Okay, Google Workspace. Endpoint type, I will select Google. Provide the Google service account credential using JSON file. So this is the file that I downloaded on my machine. There it is. Super admin username. So this is my account, which is going to be the super admin account. Okay, I'm going to save this and next. An endpoint, again I will select new. Endpoint name will be target Microsoft 365. I can also name it whatever I like. Endpoint type Office 365. Provide credentials. Enter the global admin credentials. Okay, and then save and go to summary. All right. So now what we need to do is, since we added this, we have couple of options. We have added the project. One thing to make sure is your source and target tenants. The account that you're using for the migration, it should have license assigned to it. Okay, that is very important. So in order to add, there are multiple options you can do the add. There's quick add option that allows you to add items one by one. There's a bulk option, and there's add from MSP complete. Now in this case, I don't think they have the option to auto discover. So we will simply use the option quick add. See what do we get. So it's asking me what is the source username and what is the target username. So since we already have that, so source I have Alan Harper, and target. So again for target I have another Alan Harper in the target, which is going to be this one. All right, so copy his account, and we will say save item and add another. I will add one more user right now, which is going to be Charlie. Okay, Charlie. Okay, and then I have the target account for Charlie, which is going to be the .on Microsoft account, and save item and close. After that, I will select the accounts, click on verify credentials and click on OK. Now this will verify the credentials and it will take some time. So I'm going to pause the video for some time and we'll come back once the credentials are verified. All right, so let's see where we are with the migration. So we had set sort of status was submitted. Let's refresh the status. Okay, so all right, it still is going on. Okay, I think we might have to wait for some more time. Let me refresh it again. No. So this status needs to complete and the credentials need to verify. Okay. In the meanwhile, what I can do is I can go ahead and purchase the licenses. So I'll click on purchase, or I'll rather come back. I'll purchase the licenses as part of the migration itself. So you will see the licenses being purchased. Right now, we are still waiting for this to complete. So I'll stop the video or pause the video for some more time and wait for this to complete the verification part, and once that is complete we will be able to move forward. All right, so I've just refreshed it. It took some time and now I can see that both my users have completed the verification. So the next step is to select the users and just select, click on full migration. Now it says that you cannot start the migration. It's grayed out because I do not have licenses, so I need to purchase the licenses. I will click here to purchase licenses. All right, I will go ahead and add two users and then simply click on buy now. Okay, I'm going to pause this section to fill in the details and then I will resume. All right, so I've completed the purchase of the licenses. I will return to the project. And then I will select the users again, select and click on full migration. Now you will see that I can see two licenses available. I have all the options. Okay, I can simply click on start migration. Now this will start the migration on it and this will take some time depending upon the amount of data that needs to be synchronized. So I'm going to pause this video again and we will continue after this. Okay. All right, so since our migration is complete, we see the completed status on the BitTitan. So our next step will be to go ahead and add this domain to the Office 365 tenant, which is the target tenant. So I will go to the admin portal and then I will go and choose this option of domain settings and then domains. Okay. All right. Okay. And then add domain. I'll add the domain. Use this domain. Since my DNS is managed with GoDaddy, the best part is GoDaddy can automatically update all the records. So I will update all the records that I want to. Okay. I can simply sign into GoDaddy, click on verify. The GoDaddy account needs to be signed into the same browser on a different tab. Then only this function will work. Okay, let's see. Okay, so as you see, it verified the domain. Now it's asking me to update the DNS records. Since GoDaddy is my DNS, I will let Microsoft add the DNS records. I will click on continue. I can choose what all services I want to enable, like Exchange. Click on advanced options, Skype for Business or Microsoft Teams, Intune, and then choose add DNS records. Again, I will be prompted by GoDaddy to authorize. I will click on connect, and since I'm already logged into GoDaddy on one of the other tabs in the same browser sessions, it will go ahead and try to update all of these records in GoDaddy. Okay, sounds good. And then click on done. So now my custom domain is added to the Office 365 here. Now the next thing would be for me to go to active users, and I will have to change the primary email address of both these users from .onmicrosoft.com to the custom domain, which will be pretty easy. I will click on manage username and email, use the same prefix, and choose this. Okay, so that changes the username. I'll also check if that changes the secondary email. Okay, yes, so this is the email alias, and now this has become the primary email address. Same goes for Charlie. Manage username and email. I will choose this one, copy his prefix, add, then make this as primary, save changes. Now, since we do that after changing the UPN, I would also want to go back to BitTitan once again and run one more migration pass. So I will go to BitTitan Migration Wiz, select the users, click on Start, and run another full migration. So BitTitan is a one-time sync tool. It does not. It's it's just one-time synchronization tool. It does not keep on doing delta sync or something. So we have to run the sync once, and after that, once the migration is complete, after the cutover, once you have added the domain, so you can go ahead and run another full migration.
So that full migration pass is similar to a delta sync. So it checks for any added items before and it skips that and only does the delta sync. All right, so that's about the email migration. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you have any questions, do let us know and we'll be glad to assist you. Thank you. Have a good one.